the people started to leave. And I was like asking my mom, like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Why are they leaving? She's like, oh, I can't do nothing like. What? She's like, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to Keep It Raw. Today we're coming at you with a very hot topic, and it is growing up as a female in a Haitian household. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right guys, so how has it been growing up in a Haitian household?
I think that's the beginning of it.
What can we say? So we're gonna start with pros, and then we'll do cons. So what are the pros of growing up in a Haitian household? I would say, and this is, some people might not agree, but I think the emphasis that our parents placed on education is a pro.
100%.
They did not play when it came to school. Doesn't matter if it was pre-K, college. If you were in school, you were doing your homework, you were going to class.
Yeah. And their biggest thing, I think, is also just they want you to be like a respectable person and someone that's respected in general. And so a lot of them coming into whatever countries that they were migrating to had to deal with, you know, kind of being looked down on initially when they first came to the country. Sometimes had to deal with like low-key racism, low-key like discrimination because of like their educational background. So they worked their way up, go to school, all these different things in order to then kind of, you know, like build a name for themselves.
And they don't let you settle at all. Like, they do not. So that's one major pro. What's another pro, guys?
So are we doing pros only, or are we doing what we're talking about? Because there's cons to this pro too.
Yeah.
So do you want to do that? Because I don't think every topic is going to have a pro and a con.
Yeah, I just like go with the flow. Like, I think, yeah, we might as well talk about, because what if we forget about, what if we end up forgetting about that con? Yeah, let's talk about the con. Yeah, what's your con, Ann? About that part, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I was thinking about I was thinking about my next topic. And my next topic, not my next topic, the next pro that I was going to share, but it's also a con, not being allowed to go to other people's houses. Like, just how strict they were, and how protective they were of us. And I didn't understand that growing up, because why can't we go to sleepovers? Why can't we go to what's so-and-so's birthday party from school, or, you know, whatever. But when you grow up and you see like all these things going on at people's houses, like all the brothers and uncles and siblings and cousins and all these things, and you don't know what they're capable of or what they would do as a female growing up. And that's one thing my mother, like, I didn't like, but now I see it as a pro, because I was being protected from whatever could have happened. And if she hadn't done that for me and something had happened, I probably would have blamed her growing up. I probably would have, you know, like, it's your fault. Why'd you let me go? Whatever. But now I see it as a pro. So I appreciate it.
It's definitely a mixed one. I have mixed feelings about it. I totally get the safety aspect of it. But I think on the other hand, a lot of us grew up very sheltered, and because of that, we struggled in our friendships. Like, we struggled to make long-lasting friendships because we weren't really spending time with our friends. You know, who was considered our friends was very selective, very like, my parents were like, yo, your sisters are your friends. I'm like, it don't really work that way, because she's like 4 years older than me, you know? So, and like, look, here we are, we're like in our 20s, and now we're like really figuring out how to be true friends. So it's like it's a pro in one hand, but there are
that's why I was like nervous about mentioning it, but there is definitely cons to it. I think that they could have been maybe more intentional about how we made friends, maybe like taking the step to be there, because you know American families, they'll go with the kid. Like if it's a birthday party,
they do play dates.
Yeah, they'll.
What's a play date?
They'll be there. Yeah, play date is nothing to a Haitian. What is a play date? Play kisa for what? Go play downstairs, or like go play with your sister. But they'll go with them to these events, to the Sweet 16s, to the birthday parties, to the quinceañeras, whatever. They'll go with them and, you know, just stay at a distance and let them, you know, hang out with their friends. So I think there was room for a balance. But if you try to suggest that to a Haitian parent, to go or to meet the family, meet the other parents, it was not happening.
Yeah, that's a and I think another thing that they could have done better was they had a lot of great intentions behind what they were saying for us not to do, but they weren't good at explaining why. And I think that a lot of Haitian kids, to a certain extent, at least the ones that I, you know, grew up with and knew, that missing factor, that missing component ended up making them curious about whatever they were telling them not to do. And so they just went ahead to either do it. Or the ones who like stayed in and just like did what they were told grew up with like resentment, grew up with feeling some type of way. Like, or another factor is you grow up to the point where you actually don't even, like, you can't even communicate yourself well in general. Like as an adult or as like a teenager or whatever, you kind of do things and then you are not really great at explaining why you're doing things also. Or like you just don't even feel like you can open up, or you should open up, or you owe people that sort of like top down.
You get defensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel you on that too.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Like you can tell your mom, like, okay, like why though? Like, mommy, why? Like,
oh yeah.
Parce que do ça, come on, like, you know, and it's like, oh so, shoot, like.
I don't know if that's cause they're trying to protect you and your innocence and not like really go into detail about, because sometimes there's really heavy reasons why they're not letting you go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or I don't know if it's like, because you're always a kid forever in a Haitian household. You're a kid until you die. So I don't know if it's because
that's a big con.
Yo, big con. Yo, even if you have your own kids, you're still a kid. Like,
yeah. And it doesn't help doors of communication. It doesn't help doors of understanding. It doesn't help when you're looking at someone as a kid forever. And like, no matter what, for me, if I'm the person being looked at as a kid, then I'll have a stumbling block when it comes to expressing myself, because I'll feel like why should I bother if you're not going to accept it? And then for the person who I'm trying to talk to, they're not going to listen to me because I'm a kid. So it's just a huge con for the Haitian community.
Any more pros?
That's a fact.
Another pro I would say is that
the food. Because the food is bomb.
You can say that again and again and again. The food is amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. But what about the con?
The con of the food.
Like,
blood pressure, diabetes.
Yeah. So it's not like a diverse, like, a lot of our food is, what is it called? Carbs, macaroni gratine,
heavy starch,
a lot of rice. So we eat too much rice. So apparently you're normally like regular, you're supposed to have like 1 cup, I think, or something around that. Just like,
you ever seen what a normal portion is supposed to look like?
I think I've seen it. I think
have
it's like
you
a cup.
Googled it?
I think it's like a cup.
It is small.
Yes.
It is so small.
We have mountains full of rice. And then we got the macaroni gratine. And then we'll put a little lettuce, like, you know, if we want to make it look pretty, but a lot of us don't eat it. And then we got tons of meat. And then that's our plate. So it's not when I like, it's good, but it's not. Now that I'm older and I'm realizing how tired it makes me and how heavy I feel after eating it, I'm trying to be more diverse, but that's not going well in quarantine.
Speaking of that rice thing made me reminded me of a time where we had, like, my family had gone to a party, and I think I was like, how old was I was probably like 12, and then we got there, whatever, all the food was laid out and everything, and then all of a sudden I saw people like starting to kind of slowly leave, like, you know, like the food came out a bit later, but people started to leave. And I was like asking my mom, like, what's up, like, what's going on, why are they leaving? She's like, oh, it's what I can do, you know, fit like. What? She's like, yeah, how do you have a whole party? You're saying you're hosting a whole party, and then you have no rice. It's not a party. Just don't call it a party. I was like, yo. Wow. And people left because, like, there was no rice, and you know, people coming expecting food. You're saying that you're hosting and you have no, like, the main component, which is rice. Like,
no,
yeah,
you have to. Like, it is seen as disrespectful if you do not have rice as part of the meal that you're giving to Haitians. Seriously. They would throw a huge fit. Grudges will be held. You will be spoken bad of for the rest of your life.
Years. Or you'll be belittled. You'll be like somebody who doesn't know anything. Like, don't ever ask this person to host your party. They don't have rice.
They be like, yes. I don't know. I'm a dude. Yeah.
What about the concept of, like, as a female, there's no rest for you?
There's no what?
You don't get to be tired. You don't get to sleep. It's a Saturday, 7 o'clock. Why are you not up preparing breakfast, cleaning something? Haitians hold young females to a certain standard that they don't hold the guys to. There is definitely a double standard in the Haitian community.
I didn't grow up with guys, so I didn't get to see it. Right. They definitely woke me up. Will still wake me up every Saturday with the crack of dawn with their music and the screaming about cleaning and being a woman and women don't sleep in and whatever. But I didn't get to see the difference face to face. So you can speak on the difference, Rachel.
I think between the three of us, only me, because none of you guys only have sisters. So I have 2 brothers and a lot of sisters, and growing up, I grew up in a traditional household where my mom did most of the household stuff, and my dad would help out, but it wasn't the main thing that he did. And my mom did not play with us. Like, as the moment you could walk, you were given something to do. Like, you could wash a dish, you know, if you could stand up, your 2 hands work, your 2 feet work, you could wash dishes. As soon as you could understand, she had us in the kitchen, learning how to cook and all these things, which is perfect. I think that's a great thing. I think, and not just females, but everyone in general, you should learn how to cook, clean, learn how to take care of yourself. But the standard that they hold young females to is higher than what they hold young men to, because a lot of the Haitian community still have that traditional idea that the women are the ones who do the household stuff and the guys don't. At least that's my experience. And because of that, you know, more pressure was put on us, me and my sisters, to be up. There's no rest on the weekends. Doesn't matter if you just had, you know, a 5-day school week like your brother. Like, you need to be up, cleaning, preparing for the rest for the next week coming. And then my brother didn't get the same type of pressure. So I could attest to that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some households are not like that. If you grew up in a household where your parents were a little more Americanized, then maybe not. But my parents were Haitian. Straight from Haiti. Yeah, and countryside Haiti. So yeah.
But there are times, especially as an adolescent, like as a teenager, like I was like trying to be like, nah, like I'm not doing this. Like
I ain't no huge problem when I was younger. I was not feeling it at all.
And you know what's crazy?
Now I'm older, it's okay, but
yeah, shoot. And you know what's really crazy? I think you were telling me this, Rachel, that like it hits you at some point in your lifetime where they're like trying to like guilt trip you that you don't do enough. That like, hold on, y'all had buns in Haiti. Y'all had whole like servants in Haiti doing these things for you guys. Like it hit me. One day my mom was telling me a story and about how like when she was a teenager, then her aunt you know, was like kind of yelling at them to like clean and stuff like that. But then girl, she was like, yeah, but the servant was always cleaning for us, so we didn't have to do nothing. I'm like,
and you're like, what? Wait, that's not what you was telling me.
That is not what you told me. Okay, growing up. Levez. Les 7 du matin, on cabane toujours. Levez. Jeune fille paraît dans la cabane. I'm like, okay, no problem. I remember one time my mom even told me, she was like, you don't even need to be brush your teeth. Like, you're not gonna talk anyways. You're gonna be cleaning, so just clean and do the. I was like, I can't even brush my teeth. And she's like, no, I love it, Bagayo. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And like to say, like, I think that's a great thing that they raised us to be that way, but I'm talking more the double standard. Like, I think that's the con, you know, because of course no one wants a person who's lazy, who doesn't know how to cook, doesn't know how to clean. Like, in general, you shouldn't be that type of person, but it's just the double standard that's intense in the Haitian culture. Which was difficult growing up with.
Yeah.
Hello?
What about fashion? I don't know about you guys. When I was growing up,
You froze.
Child.
My parents did not like. I dressed like a little boy. Like they were like, oh, like it's winter time, so you know, wear like the 2 pants, wear this, wear that. Like I style matching things. Like my mom was very much so like into all of that, but I was just like, nah, like I'm not into like my parents were just more so like, yo, like it's cold outside, you're dressed for the cold. But like to get like the brand new this, like baby fat was in back in the day. I wasn't getting no baby fat.
You guys, I froze. I'm lost. What happened?
Oh.
We're talking about fashion. Growing up, Haitian fashion.
Oh. Yo. What Haitian fashion?
Reaction.
What
Let's
Haitian
talk
fashion?
about this.
No, listen.
You can't even call it fashion. Oh.
Haitian fashion. There's no Haitian fashion. It's what Elza feels like buying or can afford or doesn't. I don't know. She probably could afford more, but she didn't want to get it. But whatever. So every school year, I started with probably like 5 shirts, 2 pants, and 1 pair of sneakers. And these sneakers had to last me up until the end of the year. Up until the end of the year. One time, one time. No, it was later in the year, so my sneakers were like done. My sneakers were finished because I had worn them every day for the whole year. And the sole, let me show you. Let me show you. Look, the sole, this part, the whole thing was flapped. It fell off. So one time, so I would just press on it. I would wear it and I would press on it like so people would think that it's on. And one of the little girls in my class was like, "Hannah, what's wrong with your shoe?" And I was like, "Shut up! Like don't ask me what's wrong with my shoe." So I had no type of fashion in my house. I wasn't allowed to pick my clothes probably up until high school. Whenever I would bring something, she'd be like, "No, mete sala," or like, "That's not good," or "That's too short," or "That's too long," or "That's too purple. I wasn't allowed to get anything with words on it. If it had letters on it, yes. I was in a game.
What?
It was game related if it had words in it.
You're lying.
I could not wear blue. I could not wear red. I grew up in a bad neighborhood. Let's just say
let's say bad neighborhood. Don't say where you live.
They did not want any of us stepping out the house looking like we were affiliated with anything because they was like, we don't know. Like, what if someone tries to fight you or jump you?
Wow.
We're not nothing with words.
Wow.
Nothing with words. They was like, I don't know what this is. What's baby fat? What that mean? My parents, if they don't know what it meant, they were not buying it for you. My mom bought everything 2 sizes extra big.
Yes, I was talking about
That
sizing.
too.
Yes.
That too.
Nothing was fitted.
Nope.
Okay? If it was fitted, then it was too small and you was not stepping out the house with it. Nothing name brand.
Nothing
parents
name
like, for
brand,
what?
never. That's
For
just
what?
extra money. You're walling.
Exactly. And I grew up with sisters, so we shared everything. It wasn't until we started working and making our own money and
Yeah.
buying our own things
High school
that we could
days.
say, hey, this is mine. Like, you gotta ask. When my mom bought it, it was for everyone. And mind you, at one point, we all went to the same school. So it was like, didn't I see your sister wearing that? No, you did not. Like, no, you did not.
Those people who knew, y'all knew, y'all smart.
Seriously. Oh,
Yeah.
man. And what about the hair?
Oh,
I used to have
man.
like the bobo, the baguette, the ne.
So
And I had like
altogether, my whole look was so confusing to other people. So from my clothes being loose, like you said, 2 extra sizes bigger, to my hair being in like these huge doodle braids, that people were confused. Like, are you a girl? They would ask me, are you a girl or are you a boy? And I'd be like, I'm a girl. And the other person would be like, see, I told you, like, she is a girl. And I'm in 2nd grade. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care. But like, it was just like, what are you wearing? Like, I'm confused.
seriously.
The hair was crazy. And your hair smelled like green muscatine.
For real. For real.
I didn't have that. For some reason, like, I didn't have that.
Your mother blessed her.
Wow.
Blessed her. I mean, God blessed your mother with wisdom to know the shame. The shame.
Yeah.
When you go to school
My-
and your hair reeks of green muscatine. And everybody's like, what's that
They didn't
smell?
care about you getting teased.
No.
There was like, oh, like, I rate you to be stronger than that. Like, you have self-esteem. They did not care. Teasing? What was
No.
that? Bullying? What was that?
They would laugh.
it did
like,
not exist for
Mommy,
us.
you know, whatever said my hair stink. Like, Kimilo.
They'd be like, oh, give me a little. So what?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, I think that's like a pro in a weird way. It's a pro.
It makes you so strong.
Yeah, Haitian parents, I would say, like, they definitely instill like resilience and like confidence and pride in who you are, where you come from. Like, yo, you're Haitian all the way, period. Like, they did not play with that. I remember like there was the time where this kid called me Jay-Z lips.
He called you Jay-Z lips?
Jay-Z lips. Yes, guys, Jay-Z. He told me that I had Jay-Z lips, child. And I remember going to my mom like, Mom, Ryan said I had Jay-Z lips. She said, Jay-Z? She was like, you know, like, I didn't bush patlia. Like, you know, like, what do you mean? Like, he's just jealous.
Everything
Like, who
hurts so
cares?
much as a
Da, da, da.
kid. Like,
It does.
Everything
You're
does.
So
It hits
sensitive.
different.
Jay-Z lips, like, what? That's a compliment now. Like,
It
Yeah,
is.
oh, a huge compliment. Yeah,
It's
people
crazy
want
how
lips.
times change.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I remember my mom just looked at me crazy. Like, how dare you even cry over Ryan? Like, who is Ryan? Like, and then I just got like, not kind of scared straight, but like that quickly wiped over my tears. And I saw Ryan the next day, like, what's up?
Like,
Call
who
me
are
Jay-Z
you?
lips again.
My
Yeah.
mom said, who are you?
I
Like,
agree,
you're
though.
nobody.
They definitely teach you to have, like, how to carry yourself and, like, how to respect yourself and how to make sure you're respected and how, you know, to not want, I don't know how to say it in English, but, like, not like, not to be embarrassed.
Don't let anyone
Embarrassed.
shame you.
Yeah, shame you or embarrass, or even embarrass yourself when you're out there, when you're out in public. And yeah, so they definitely did that.
Definitely, yeah. They were like, don't give anyone a reason to talk about you, so that if people do talk about you, you know, it's because that's just how they are, and you don't have to worry about it.
So yeah.
But if you're giving people the reason to talk about you, then that's on you.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like, Haitian parents are like, when they're with you, they're with you. But if you do anything stupid,
But that's a
they
con.
will disown you. They don't
If
like
they cut you off.
But that's
you
a con
are cut.
too.
cut
That's a con
off.
too. It's
All the
a
way
pro.
cut.
It's a pro and a con because their words, when they get inside of you, they really get inside of you. take all your insides out, lay it out on the table for you, and show you
on them.
Yeah. Do a little quick step on them and show you why you don't deserve all these organs, why you don't deserve life. And then they try to seal it all back up, put everything back in and seal it all back up and be like, you know, I'm only telling you because I love you. Or I'm only telling you whatever. But like those words, their words pierce too at the same time. They pierce and then they stay with you.
Yeah. But they all have like their things. Like I don't know what it was for your parents, but it's like, yo, these are 3 things. Like if you do these, like, you know, like you come home, like the locks are changed. You can't get back into your house. Every Haitian parent have something that they see as unforgivable, which is
which we've all never seen because we never tried, we never attempted.
They instill that fear in you from a jump that you don't even want to test them.
Yeah,
you know.
You just get that look, and you already know it's a wrap from there. Like, yeah. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I loved growing up with a culture, though, to be able to say that I am this, and to know that being this meant this, that, and that, and that. I think it helps to just kind of ground you a little bit. Like it gives you a sense of identity from a very early age, who you are. And I love that. Like, I love that I can say I am Haitian. And I know what that means and what image that puts in my own mind of, you know, what I have to live up to and what I can be proud of, you know, to be Haitian. So,
yeah, for sure.
I love...
Yeah, having a heritage is nice.
Yeah. There's no... I guess... I don't know. But I feel like Haitians are very, like... inclusive in a sense when it comes to their own. Like, once they spot another Haitian, like that's Munpayo. And they're just funny. They're comedians. I think that's another pro.
Yeah, as a pro. Haitians are hilarious.
Hilarious.
Even the ones who don't know they're hilarious. It's just by default.
Yes.
You are hilarious. Your reactions, the things that you say, the way you move, the way you carry yourself, it is just a whole movie. Like, I could just watch a Haitian just sit back
and identify them from anywhere.
Yes, and I am so entertained.
Yeah.
Just the way they sit, the way they do face expressions. Oh my god.
Yep. And once you hear that, you already know they're Haitian. You already told me you're Haitian. I ain't gotta talk to you. I already know you're Haitian.
You already know.
Hit that, clipped. You're already Haitian. I already know.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, they're hilarious. And one thing I also like is the fact that they're very family oriented.
That's a big one. Yeah.
That's a huge one. Like I remember, you know, my white friends would be like, yeah, like by the time that we're 18, like I'm gonna be out of the house, like I'm getting kicked out. My mom wants me to, like, you know, like have my own place. I'm like, 18, like you're gonna get kicked out. Like, and my parents are like, yo, just got scope poco mal, yeah, like, you know, like if you're not married yet, you're not leaving the crib, period. You know, like they're very much so family like oriented, and I'm used to for example, like it wasn't an uncommon thing for someone to have like their grandparents live with them, or to have like a aunt or uncle from Haiti, you know, living with them at the same time and stuff like that. Or even like growing up and like your cousins are literally like your siblings, you know, because you hang out like almost every week or every weekend or whatever. So I really love the whole family aspect of it, and that's something that like I hold dear to, and I see kind of like in myself too. Like I'm a family person because I grew up with all my family pretty much around me. Like my cousins are literally like my siblings. So I love that.
I don't want huge providers. I would say, like, back to what you're saying, how like until you're ready to be on your own, like, they will never push you out to be on your own, which could be a pro and a con. Because
can I talk about the con?
A lot of us
when you're
are grown and don't know, and don't know how to be on their own. But it's the provision aspect. I think it's a pro. Like, they work so hard to make sure you're fed, make sure you have shelter, You know, make sure you have clothes on your back. At least you have the essentials. You know what I'm saying?
So the con of that,
it is a con.
I don't mean to be like the bearer of bad news or the con woman of the chat. Like every time you guys say something, I'm like, there's a con to that. Like, let's talk about how that's bad. But like, for a lot of Haitian like people our age, it kind of makes us like dependent on them too, because they know they're doing everything. They paying the bills. They, you know, because I don't know where to go to pay a bill for a house, you know, for a mortgage, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so all these things, they don't teach you. And that's how a lot of other cultures advance, because they pass down the business to the kids. They show the kids how to do their taxes. They show the kids how to, buy a house, what to look out for, how to save, you know, all these things, how to budget, all these things. And they're literally teaching them it from the teenage years, 13, 14. So when they do turn 18 and they get kicked out, they're pretty, like, they're okay for the most part.
They know what they're doing.
And
as for us,
we're, you know, home dwindling our fingers and kicking our feet.
Well, the thing is also, for a lot of Haitians, like, involving your kids in adult things, it's like not a thing.
You're a kid forever.
So for them,
that Haitians have, it's a con.
You're a kid forever.
Yep. They're like the taxes, all of that. That's adult information. Like, why you're a teen? Where are you going?
Yep.
You know. Yep. So
and it could be like, I don't know, it could just do a lot of damage, because what are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, in the house, am I, like, you have to question yourself, like, am I an adult? Like, if something happened to my parents right now, would I be able to, you know, pay the bills? You know, so it kind of leaves me kind of like in a doubtful space, and also just eager to break free, to learn these things and be able to do that. But
I definitely think with Haitian households, though, at the end of the day, like, you kind of have to assert at a certain stage in your life that, I'm an adult, like, you have to take it by the reins, and, like, you know, and really take it by the horns, and really say, like, no, I'm an adult, like, this is what I'm doing, oh, why you don't, like, because this is what I'm doing, because this is where I, you know, sometimes you kind of have to do respectfully, of course, but you still kind of have to let them know, like, listen, like, at a certain stage, not when you're a teenager. It's I didn't say that. If you're a teenager and you're in a Haitian household, don't do that.
Graduate college, guys. Right?
At least
we did the point where education's a big deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Graduate, or at least be a senior. Be a senior in college, so your parents know that you are getting there. You know, and then you could start to, you know, demand certain things. Because to Haitians, you have to show yourself worthy. You have to show yourself as someone who deserves their respect. They don't just give their respect out freely, you know? And that's, I think, we as Americanized Haitians have a lot of trouble with that. And a lot of our generation, most of the time, we just move out. Like, we don't even try to find that balance between us and our parents in the same household. We just move out. And we're like, you know, like, I'll do things the way I want to do it out on my own. And then for those of us who do stay in the household, you do have to find that place where you can do it. And for me, it was when I graduated college.
Yeah, I just started asserting my dominance when it comes to, like, just my personal life. So, like, I'm gonna do my own taxes. I'm gonna, you know, space out my schooling according to what's, you know, appropriate for me and what I feel like I can handle, my job, et cetera, et cetera. But there are times where I'll say something or I'll assert my dominance, and my parents will still bust out laughing in my face. Still a kid, I see. So there's definite, like, there's still gonna be them. It'll just happen, like, there'll be just, you know, moments in time where they'll be like, all right, I'll give you that. Like, we're getting this on.
I'm at the place where I think my parents treat me like an adult.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And the crazy thing is, I don't even know when it happened. Like, I can't pinpoint when it happened.
They
But
didn't want to give it to you all at once. They was like,
they don't.
Yeah.
They sprinkle it a little bit here, a little here, a little respect here.
I think
They like to keep us on our toes.
they're learning.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to our first video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And let us know down in the comments, one, if you were Haitian, how was it growing up in a Haitian household for you? And if you're not Haitian, then what similarities did you guys have with us? Also, let us know, do you guys want a part 2? Because we could maybe bring in the guy perspective and see what it's like for some guys to grow up in a Haitian household. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep it real and keep it raw. Until next time, God bless.